Keir Starmer is facing one of the most explosive crises of his leadership as Labour descends into chaos. Milan Radulovic, a political stalwart with nearly 40 years of service, has sent shockwaves through the party, delivering a passionate and damning rebuke of Starmer's leadership. After serving as leader of Broxtow Borough Council for 22 years, Radulovic and 19 other councillors have resigned en masse, leaving the Labour Party reeling. Their decision marks a seismic shift in local politics, with the creation of the Broxtow Independence Group and a scathing critique of what they see as Labour's betrayal of its working-class roots. But before we delve deeper into this explosive story, take a look at this clip where Milan Radulovic delivers his fiery message to Keir Starmer and the Labour leadership.
No, although I will still remain in control, I'm considering handing in my resignation to the council and asking the council to re-elect me as new leader under the new arrangements.
Of course, yes. Well, we'll wait to see if that comes to pass. But in your letter, you mentioned the local elections twice in May this year. Is that what's driving it? You fear that unless you separate out yourselves from the government, you'll be badly hit at the ballot box in May?
No, what we're concerned about is the fact that we've been blocked. Say 10 of our councillors have been blocked from standing as candidates. And that imposition, we consider, and I consider, to be totally unacceptable. These are dedicated, hard-working, the grassroots supporters of the Labour Party. They're the people who knock on doors. They're the people who deliver leaflets. They're the people who try to give hope to local groups and organisations and to support their local communities.
Yes.
And to be blocked from standing because we disagree with some of their national stances is wrong.
Yes. And what's your message tonight? If Keir Starmer's watching from his sunbed, wherever he is on holiday, what would be your response to him, your message to the leadership of this government?
Many people, particularly working class people in areas like I represent in Eastwood, feel a deep sense of betrayal by the government. As I said to you, it's the imposition of the two-child welfare cap. It's the treatment of the WASPy women, which we consider to be betrayal. It's the withdrawal of the winter fuel allowance. On the doors, people are saying to us, who's going to represent us? And nobody does represent them anymore. So we are making this stand. My message to Keir Starmer is, come and talk to us. Come and talk to me. Don't send us the diktats. Don't send us suspensions or other measures to keep us quiet. Actually, come and talk to us about what we can do and work together. However, I have never once. I want to make this point clear.
Radulovic didn't mince his words. He accused Labour's leadership of being out of touch, authoritarian, and more concerned with internal control than supporting local communities. Reflecting on his decades of service, Radulovic revealed that not once had Labour's national or regional leadership reached out to support him in delivering critical programmes for his constituents. Since 1995, when I first became leader of Broxtow Borough Council, I've been leader for 22 years. Not once in my entire political career has any member of the regional or national Labour Party come to me in my office and said, "How can we help you deliver the programme that you're delivering?" he declared. This isn't just a local story, it's a microcosm of a national issue. Radulovic's criticisms echo the frustrations of many grassroots members and local leaders who feel alienated by Starmer's top-down approach. For years, Labour was a party rooted in the struggles of the working class, but under Starmer's leadership, Radulovic claims it has become consumed by Westminster elites and detached from the very people it claims to represent. "Don't send us diktats, don't send us suspensions or other measures to keep us quiet," he fumed, accusing the party of silencing dissent rather than fostering dialogue. The mass resignation of 20 councillors means Labour has lost control of Broxtow Borough Council, a blow that Starmer cannot afford at a time when his leadership is already under scrutiny. Adding to the sting, Radulovic and the former Labour councillors have formed a new political group, the Broxtow Independents, signalling their determination to push back against what they see as Labour's failures. In a poignant speech, Radulovic accused Starmer of abandoning the working class and concentrating power in ways that verge on authoritarianism. "This is moving dangerously close to dictatorship," he warned, a statement that has resonated far beyond Broxtow. Radulovic's departure didn't happen in isolation. The resignation wave was fueled by several contentious national Labour policies. Among the most controversial were the means testing of the winter fuel allowance and the decision to deny compensation to the WASPy women, many of whom had worked hard their entire lives, only to face what Radulovic called a betrayal of those who've paid into the system for decades. The councillors also opposed Labour's plans to merge county and district councils into large unitary authorities, which they argue concentrate power in fewer hands and reduce local accountability. As the dust settles, the fallout is spreading. More than 100 grassroots Labour members in Broxtowe have reportedly quit the party, a stunning indictment of Starmer's leadership and the disconnect between the party's leadership and its base. The remaining Labour councillors in Broxtowe expressed disappointment at the defections, but their statements have done little to stem the growing tide of criticism. This isn't just a local rebellion, it's a warning shot to Labour's national leadership. Meanwhile, a parallel storm is brewing within Labour. Former MP Simon Danczuk has come forward with explosive claims that senior Labour figures, including former PLP chair Tony Lloyd, discouraged him from raising the ethnicity aspect of grooming gang scandals during his time in Parliament. According to Danczuk, these warnings were explicit. Addressing these issues would harm Labour's electoral prospects. His allegations have added fuel to the fire, further eroding trust in a party already grappling with accusations of prioritising political expediency over justice. Danczuk's revelations are particularly damning because they touch on one of the most sensitive and deeply troubling issues in British politics. Grooming gang scandals have devastated communities across the country, and Labour's perceived inaction on the issue has drawn widespread criticism. Safeguarding Minister Jess Phillips recently rejected calls for a national inquiry into historic child abuse, sparking outrage from campaigners and political opponents alike. Critics argue that the decision undermines Labour's credibility on safeguarding and justice, with some branding it shameful. As Radulovic and the Broxtowe Independents begin their new chapter, they face the challenge of governing as a minority administration. Yet their departure from Labour has already had a profound impact, reigniting debates about the party's identity and direction under Starmer. Public reactions have been fierce and divided. For some, Radulovic's resignation is a courageous stand against a party that has lost its way. For others, it's a betrayal of the Labour values he once championed. Keir Starmer now finds himself at a crossroads. The resignations in Broxtowe are more than a local issue. They're a symbol of the growing discontent within Labour's ranks. From grassroots members to long-serving councillors, the message is clear. The party's current trajectory is alienating its core supporters. Whether Starmer can address these concerns and rebuild trust remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: the cracks in Labour's foundation are becoming impossible to ignore. As the political fallout continues, all eyes are on Broxtowe and the growing dissent within Labour. Will this be the wake-up call Starmer needs to reconnect with the party's base, or is it the beginning of an even larger exodus? The stakes couldn't be higher, and the answers will shape the future of Labour and British politics for years to come.